Okay, here we are. We're recording. It's amazing. It's a miracle. Here we are, January. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Yep, doing very well. Really glad that we snuck this into January still.
I think we've only missed a time or two in the last 4 years. So we're doing pretty well. Busy people, busy schedules. You know what they say, give it to a busy person and it'll get done. But I'm not sure I really believe that. And that's where, craziness starts after a little while. Okay, well, let's get this baby teed up. Who wants to go? Well, first I'll show everybody what we've got here. So here is January 2024. What color is this? I changed colors. Purple?
Purple
Is it? Nice, good.
looks very nice. Good color selection.
Thank you. Thank you. It's luck. It's luck. So this is our 38th recording, friends. Amazing, huh?
Wow.
It is amazing and wonderful.
It is. We've been doing this since 2019. I find that amazing.
That is crazy.
Empires have fallen in that time.
That's true. And we've only been in each other's presence once, I think for the very first time in Boise.
That's
right.
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think, Amy, I live here in town with you. I think I've only met you twice.
A couple times in person. Yeah, that's right.
Once at the
And we
Episcopal
never
Church.
run across each other. I never run into you anywhere.
Well, that's because you don't go to the bars. It's because you don't hang.
I just go to different.
The bars you go to aren't the dive bars. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough frivolity. Okay, who wants to go first?
Well, what order do you have it?
Well, I have it the same order, so that's not very good, but I love this. So we could do that, or Mr. Personality here. Or we could do ice. Who wants to go? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go? Anybody? You may go first? Why
You
don't
go first.
I never
You
go
go.
first. Okay. Okay, the haiku is: the ice seems solid when it melts too soon. How nice to know you can swim. And then there's a little subscript here which says someone was thinking about you and wishing you well on. And then here's a picture I took. Clearly, I took this picture in a different season of the year. Stragglers they are, yellow jacketed, wind swept, other trees are bare. That's my front yard. Or it's on our street. It's on our street.
So you sent us 2 haiku.
I got space on that card. I figure why waste it?
Hey, I made it work.
Oh.
So the plural of haiku is haiku. What's the plural of haibun?
Buns. Hi, buns.
Hi, buns.
Hi, bye. Hi, bye.
So the 3 people who watch these recordings are going to be, I'm sort of transfixed by our dialogue here. So I should probably.
We have reparts.
You go, Davin.
I'll probably go with my haibun here. All right, I read both of Michael's wonderful poems as capturing transitions and our responses to those transitions. Much as Amy's poem emphasized the healing potential of change, Michael's poems highlight our readiness or lack of readiness for similar kinds of change. Importantly, and I know I've said this in other of our recordings and conversations, importantly, nature doesn't care at all if we're ready for what she brings or what she makes us suffer. How many of Aesop's fables taught the very same lesson? Be ready, be prepared and responsible. Don't goof off, or you'll be caught on your heels and unable to recover. When a deciduous tree keeps its leaves longer than it should, Michael's stragglers, it's called marquescence. And the theory is it's a way for the tree to protect some of its more vulnerable buds come springtime. And of course, we know the ducks are ready for the swings in temperature that Michael's poem highlights. Michael's trees and his ducks are prepared. How can we all be ready to swim or to protect our most vulnerable buds? What do we need to do to prepare? For us, it's usually less immediate than it is for the trees or the ducks. Humans talk about resilience in the face of change and transition. In this way, I think Michael's poems really point to Amy's moon medicine, a way of being in the world that is always tuned into the changes of which we are necessarily a part, and how we can best adapt to and accommodate those changes.
I already learned a new word.
I know.
Marquescence.
Yes. I didn't know that.
I'm just guessing it's pronounced that way.
Marquescence. I think it's a marvelous word.
It's a great word.
It is. It makes me think of senescence. Great. Marquescence. Nice.
That's good. Well, we were on the same kind of wavelength. I only focused on the ice melting one, but I considered both of them. So, the ice seems solid until it isn't. The plans were perfect until they weren't. Health was okay until it wasn't. Life is unpredictable. I love this haiku that speaks so eloquently to unexpected change and the beauty of adaptation. Ice melts. It's not a question of if the ice will melt. It's just a question of when. Change happens. Babies grow up. The moon phases shift. Ice melts. And as much as we might fight against change, humans and geese are masters at navigating the melting, ever-changing nature of living. Where the geese are walking one day, they're swimming the next. I imagine the geese do not spend one iota of energy worrying about the state of the water. If it's ice, they will walk. If it's water, they will swim. Geese know and trust their ability to adapt to change, and so they teach us how to adapt as well.
Nice.
Nice work.
Yeah. So a couple things. Number one, I took that picture of the geese or the ducks or whatever they are. I think the geese at that time were gone south for the winter, but maybe there might have been a goose or a duck around because they're usually right there. And it's just interesting, so interesting how that pond changes from day to day. Just the weather's up, it's on. Now it's, I mean, this week it's all gone. So so in the bottom of my haiku, I put that little phrase out there, someone is thinking about you. And so I decided I would start doing that with many of my haikus from now on. And I bought this little stamp, which will stamp the date. And so when people get it, I don't think I had it when I sent it to you all. When people get it, and then I'll write something like today, they will know that I am thinking somebody out in the world is thinking something positive about them that day. Now, most of us have that already. Many of us have, but sometimes, people feel alone, say, someone's thinking about you. So anyway, that's the intent there. Yeah, we'll see how often I do it, but that's kind of my intent. I feel like we need connection in this world.
And it's also just a really good feeling to put that stamp date. I mean, the way those mechanisms work, that's cool.
It's almost like, it's not enough to have a, haiku drop, little message thing. You got to have a serious stamp.
Yep. It's got like metal parts and things.
That's right. Cha-chunk. Okay. I teach a course called Adult and Transformational Learning. And one of the topics we talk about is how assumptions we have about the assumptions we have about, well, just about everything. We carry them around with us sometimes for a bit, sometimes something new topples them, but sometimes for a lifetime. These assumptions can also be called beliefs, or what we believe to be true. Truths humanity have believed over history range from the sun revolves around the earth, to smoking is healthy for you, to a woman's place is in the home. Each was real, was truth, and now most of society believes, not all society, assumes something different is true. We carry these assumptions around about everything, including about ourselves. Those we often adopted when we were young, such as when we told someone that someone told us we couldn't sing. And we believed that for the rest of our lives, or that our family just isn't good at math. We carry assumptions about our health, our families, about our jobs, and many times those assumptions are based on what we've learned over the years by hook or crook. When a fundamental assumption we have, something we believe to be true or very likely to happen, is cracked like ice. When something we thought would be permanent proves it wasn't, then we can find ourselves foundering. Maybe we feel like we are drowning, and our behavior then must change in response to the new reality. Now, of course, these ducks, as Amy just said, it's natural for them. But for us, it might not be so natural. Over a lifetime, this cracking open happens to each of us many times in ways large and small. And the wonderful thing is, like ducks, when the ice melts slowly or cracks open with a bang, we can swim. We may have to dog paddle for a little while or wear a life preserver, but we can learn to swim if we don't already know how. And then, when the refreshing waves of water wash over us and surround us, we'll have found ourselves with a more profound assumption. We can survive these new waters and more. We now can swim and walk just about anywhere we need or want to go.
I like it. So beautiful.
We were all on the same wavelength on that one.
Yeah.
Ducks. I love in the spring, we've got little ducks and their moms, and the little ducks follow each other.
So fun.
Can we do Amy's next?
We can.
My high bun kind of weaves nicely in moving from Michael's to Amy's.
Nice.
Is that okay with you, Amy?
That's fine, of course. Oh.
I love this picture, Amy.
Yep.
It's from Canva.
Canva is like our great muse.
It really is. Yeah. My haiku this month was the moon medicine, waxing and waning, showing all comes and goes. Peace.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Who's up?
Is the moon phase also from Canva?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It was that was just one picture, and it was like, I was like, that's perfect. Exactly what I wanted.
Amazing.
You want me to go? You want to go?
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
I wrote a poem about the moon once, but then again, doesn't each person who fancies himself or herself a poet write about the moon at least once? And the leaves, and the broken heart, and the morning dew, and well, I digress. I wrote a poem about the moon. And sitting here, I can't even remember what I said, but I do know this. The moon is magical. It's mystical. It was created, I'm sure, for dreamers and hopers and seekers and lovers. It moves across the sky carrying our dreams and hopes and imagination and hearts. But I'd never thought of the moon as medicine until I read Amy's haiku. But it's true. As true as my assumption, my belief that drinking beer is a health food. For me, it is true. The moon smooths our worries, calms the arrhythmia of our anxious hearts, nourishes our soul, heals our hurts, and is a prescription from the great doctor above. The moon, as I think about it, though, may be more like Eastern medicine or indigenous medicine, not so bound up in the quick fix, the immediate cessation of symptoms. Not that that's a bad thing, but more medicinally oriented to healing the spirit, the soul, the essence. Instead of isolating the problem and putting a hammer to it, the moon spreads the pain throughout the universe, connects it to the mystery stretching infinitely and eternally, and in that way shares and spreads out our hurt to all so that it can be born and healed in ways that only the moon could offer.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yep, that's beautiful.
Amazing.
Thanks. I love the moon. I just love it.
All right. My Google search for moon medicine wasn't very helpful. There are a few holistic medicine practitioners, and more importantly, there's a moon medicine yoga studio in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. So I've been to Conshohocken, and I was pretty sure that's not what Amy had in mind with this poem.
You're going to get letters from Conshohocken now, you know
that. Because there are so many people there watching our haiku.
You know, it's just like, you know, something goes out from Jimmy Kimmel and all of a sudden you
Right.
get stuff, you know, talking about Lincoln, Nebraska or
Right.
you know, Olathe. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. Well, since the distributed intelligence of the internet didn't really help, I'll take Amy's words at face value. Moon medicine strikes me as capturing the deep connection between our body/mind/consciousness and the natural rhythms of nature, of which we are, in spite of all of our efforts to the contrary, still a deep and integral part. The more we acknowledge and appreciate this deep connection, the more healing is possible. That's exactly what medicine is supposed to do, heal. Moon medicine also captures the meaning of our human connection to and involvement with nature in more figurative ways. There's a spiritual healing as the moon waxes and wanes. It teaches us that the joys, trials, celebrations, and tribulations of our human experience, they come and they also go. This too shall pass, as my father always says. For some people, this impermanence might be unsettling. But for those who appreciate moon medicine, this waxing and waning, coming and going, it inculcates peace.
I love it. So
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Such great theme this week amongst all. I mean, as is every time, but it's always such a surprise how it all works.
Yep.
Ancient wisdom and lore ascribe meaning and purpose and energy to the moon. Moon medicine. There is something healing standing under the great expanse of the night sky, seeing the moon in whatever waxing or waning phase that particular day reveals. The change we see is simply a change in position, ours and the moon's. It's not a change in the character or physical makeup of the moon. When we see half a moon, the moon is not split in half. We've just changed positions. Sometimes change only looks like change. Given time, perspective will change again. The way the moon changes is predictable, plottable, remarkably unremarkable. It's the changing, unchanged nature of the moon that is balm for every soul. In a season of growth, waxing, the moon shows us incremental growth adds up, creates measurable change and more light. While in predictable seasons of waning, the moon's medicine reminds us there's beauty in moon shadows and the diminishing lasts for a time until another phase of waxing begins. All comes and goes, and there is peace in that knowledge.
That was a brilliant twist on all of this, Amy. The moon is actually unchanged. That's great.
That's really great.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I was thinking about it, it just kind of hit me like, wait, the moon doesn't change. It's just we're changing, and then it's so simple and yet so mind-bending too.
Yeah, that's great.
I know people that follow these eclipses, you know, these eclipses, sun eclipses and moon eclipses and stuff like that. And I'm not into that, you know, but people I know just follow them, you know, it's like it, and I understand that they can be quite moving, you know, those things. I don't know if either of you actually been through
I saw the one that was here a few years ago. It was amazing. And you can see how if you didn't know what was going to happen, it would be terrifying. Like
Yeah, let's say you're sitting before the age of the internet and literature and all that sort of stuff, and all of a sudden you're sitting out in your field, and all of a sudden that happens. You would think that God was doing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we were on the roof of the new College of Ed building in Moscow for the 2017 total eclipse, and it was like a little community event. I mean, everybody was out, and so now Dayton, Ohio, you may be surprised to learn, is an epicenter of the upcoming eclipse this April. So April 8th is when the feathers hit the fan in terms of that. And you cannot get a hotel room in Dayton, Ohio that weekend. This place, in fact, they're predicting it's going to break the internet around here. I don't have any idea why, but we teach online classes. So we've told all our instructors, have an alternative lesson plan for that day because you may not have internet service. I haven't figured that one out yet, but it's busy. People are coming to Dayton.
Are you renting out rooms in your house?
I'm not. Nope, not to those people.
I forget what they call the line down through the country, down through Mexico, where the epicenter or whatever that's called, but it's the area of profundity or the area of something. It's pretty amazing. It's amazing what people do. And
all right, I should read my haiku.
Oh.
I will say that I did let Michael Kroth stay in our extra bedroom when he visited Dayton.
Ooh.
So we're really not very exclusive in our house.
So he's not very exclusive at all. And in fact, they're not letting anybody come after that experience. Jeez.
Learn their lesson.
Or you got to pay $500 a night or something. Okay, where's this? Here it is. I had such a great time in Dayton. Such a great time. I'm having to think about what I did last semester right now, kind of summarizing some of those thoughts. And wow, that was just a fabulous time, Dr. Carr-Chellman and family. Anyway, okay. You can tell I'm lonely, I just love talking to you. I'm just going to stretch it out, look at this picture. And then this picture. You want to explain anything before you get into this, Dr. Carr-Chellman, or
I don't think so. I'm sure it will emerge.
Yeah. Okay. Which order do you want to start with this right here then?
Yeah. Days are long, years short. Unchanging truth guides our paths. Savor the long days.
And I don't think I've ever had that much excitement in my life. Okay. Amy, you or me? You just name it. Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I can go. Days and nights with newborn infants, learning to crawl, walk, and talk toddlers, and 3-year-olds being 3-year-olds are long, challenging, tiring days. Time crawls with crawling babies. And yet, just as the moon constantly changes and water freezes and unfreezes, babies grow up in the blink of an eye. My babies are both teenagers. They do their own laundry, sometimes load the dishwasher, manage their own homework, and even drive. Well, one driver right now. Almost daily, a picture of my babies, toddlers, or little kids pop up on my phone camera roll. I see hints in those pictures of who they are now, smiles and scowls that are surprising insights into their personalities, passions, and character. I wonder, what will the pictures I'm taking today reveal in the future? I miss those cute kiddos, but man, I love the people they are. I love the people they are. They have and will change before my eyes. There are many unchanging truths that guide our paths in parenting. Living life as a human. The one thing constant is change comes to mind.
Very nice and very true.
Very true. And what a nice way of weaving in the themes of the day. Melting ice, moon stuff.
And we should remind our viewers that we don't prearrange these themes. We just write poems and share them with each other.
It's always so crazy.
That is a synchronicity in this world, I think.
Yeah.
How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. First time I read that quotation by Annie Dillard, I felt I had discovered, and I capitalized this, one of the great truths of life. All caps. My whole life, I'd spent way too many days in the future, planning for it, anxious about it, preparing for it, or in the past. Why did I make that choice? How could I have been so blind? Of course I deserve this. How many times did I miss the time I had with my family, even when I was with them, because my mind was a whole place miles away? It's a sad and unenviable part of the human experience that we can, like unlike other living things, living in past regrets and future worries, while totally oblivious to the rich opportunity for love and play and creativity right here and now. Time will fly. Savor the days with your family, your friends, the people who you love, doing what you love, as that wise philosopher Ferris Bueller said. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Discovering the importance of presence, what de Caussade calls the sacrament of the present moment, was life-changing. But Davin's haiku takes it even further, because it makes explicit that the principles of the world remain. To close, I finish with Ferris. How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this? Let's us, we three, savor this day, this time, each month we spend together.
And I am truly proud that I inspired references to Ferris Bueller.
YMCA.
Whoa, hold on here.
Are you calling the YMCA? All right.
Great.
Right.
I'm glad it wasn't the tax collector. That would have been, I mean, the
Yeah.
bill collector, that would have been trouble.
The wheels have come off the bus. All right.
The bus.
I remember as a parent of infants and young children, we had 3 under 3 at one point in time, circa 2003. I remember that time yearning for the truths of parenting, any kind of help and guidance. My brain told me lots of people had done this difficult work so well, but so many had not done it well, or at least that's how it seemed at the time. How do I parent well? It seemed like the stakes were so high. These little creatures entirely dependent on me and my wife, our decisions, our actions, our demeanor, and our example. There must be rules to follow. Some kind of collected and collective wisdom to be shared amongst the fraternity of nascent parents. It's not that easy, of course. There are plenty of books and experts, but every child and every family is different, and many of these books and experts come with lots of baggage, like political and religious agendas and faulty research. So one of the unchanging truths of parenting, I think, is that the collected and collective parenting wisdom doesn't make the vocation of parenting any easier or simpler. The days were often truly long because you're doing many very hard things, as I tried to capture in the images on one side of the haiku. I never felt so tired or slept so well as when I was parenting young children. Another unchanging truth is that yes, the days are long, but the years are short. And those precious, challenging times are like dust in the wind. Treasures to be savored and appreciated for their value and uniqueness and meaningfulness, if not always for their joy. Before you know it, the kids are grown and forcing you to wear a silly hat on New Year's Eve.
Love it. That's so funny.
That was funny when I saw that picture.
I love that picture.
I did too. I thought. Oh, that is so. You do such an awesome. I know Davin's parenting skills better, and I know yours, Amy, just because I've been around him a little bit more. He's such a fabulous, fabulous parent. And
Thank you.
And Amy, you too. What little I know about you, just talking to you about how how you're like a golf cart taking everybody around the course all the time. Well, thank you all for this great haiku time and making space in January, busy time. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Already looking forward to next month. We have an extra day next month to
Is it leap year? Leap year.
Yeah, isn't it?
Nice. Okay, well, we'll talk to you later. I'm going to turn this recording off and we will see you anon.